Honda Civic Type R pace car has worked its way to pit lane. It's time to go racing once again. A Scorpio on the inside, Fisher on the outside. All Zanella front row, looking good. 11 rows, 22 drivers. Green, 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 and a great start. No, yellow. They were on the throttle in a big way, and we went yellow. Interesting. You can see that Zanella, the Zanella team, had a decent jump. Scorpione got out to a pretty good jump. I'm not sure exactly why we didn't go green on that. Hopefully, I can get some insight potentially coming from race control to let you know. But not exactly sure at this point. Quick message off to race control. We'll see if we can't get some update there. And indeed, Oliver Weldon had a pretty good jump, not able to capitalize on that. Again, Oliver Weldon starting in the 3rd spot, so he is right behind the leader. That's one of the things, obviously, a little bit advantageous depending on the racetrack. Starting 3rd is that when that leader punches off, if you time it correctly, you're going to go with them and maybe be able to get to the inside of the driver starting 2nd, which is Ty Fisher. And indeed, I think it looked like had it gone green, they were going to be very likely side by side coming down into turn number 1. And at the best of times in 1 for USF Juniors, you're not hard on the brakes into that corner. You're trying to roll a ton of speed through, because once you get through that, what is a very significant downhill run into essentially into turn 1, the apex of turn 1, the compression there loads the car up and gives you a lot of grip. You're allowed to kind of unwind the wheel to take the car from the right side of the track back to the left to set up for turn number 2. But side by side through there on the opening lap on cooler tires, remember you're probably not lifting going into that corner, maybe a little, but considering the fact that you're not at full speed coming down to the corner, you may be full chat coming through that corner. So if you've got all the throttle into it, at that point you're just hoping the car is going to stick. The front of the car is going to stick, and indeed side by side, that's what we saw with Diego Guyot and Matan Achitev in race number 1, where Guyot got onto the grass on the inside, pushed off, and had right front to left rear contact. Full restart, still 2x2. It won't be a single file. They'll get another shot at it. It's actually going to give Ty Fisher potentially a chance to get a better start. It's Keon, our flagman, in the stand to see what we get here. Drivers nice and lined up completely. And there's that green flag coming from Aaron Likens. Underway. Better start as well for Ty Fisher. Let's see if he's able to hold the spot. Yeah, Weldon's going to have to check up a little bit. The 2 Zanella cars coming through 1, 2 is Scorpione with the lead. Much better run through turn number 1 than we had on the opening circuit. Let's hopefully we get through here. Again, a 20-lap race, 45-minute time limit. That clock started the minute they came across the line and didn't get the green. The 45 minutes started, so we're down to 37 minutes already. It took a long time to get back around. The clock has started, and we're on the opening of what could be 20 laps. 3 wide coming out of turn number 5. The kink turn 6, why not? Opening lap, always the best opportunity to make up some spots, but wow, hold your breath as they come through what is essentially almost a single file corner. Nice job going 2x2 a little further back. That's a tough place to come through. The driver on the outside has to give room. The inside has to make sure he doesn't push wide. One of the things about our program in USF Juniors this year, I can't say he, I gotta say they. We have 3 young female drivers. That's the most females we've ever had in one series in the USF Pro Championships. We've had some great drivers as we go come through who have gone on to run other programs, many going into the sports car ranks. Sabre Cook, one coming to mind. She's become a fantastic sports car racer through the shifter kart ranks, and of course into USF 2000 for a time. And one driver spinning right there. Oh, and that's going to be a left rear. Driver spinning, coming through turn number 17. That is definitely going to be a full course yellow. I think that was Kaylee Countryman who went around coming through turn number 17. And I want to say the driver coming through was Harry Moss. Harry had nowhere to go, tried to go on the outside. Full course yellow is happening. That'll slow everybody down. Countryman able to continue. I would expect she may have some damage on that machine. Moss tried to go around the outside, and very similar to what we saw in the opening lap of race 1 down in turn number 1, where we had the front to rear contact. That was actually rear to rear contact, left rear to left rear as Countryman went around and got kind of centered right in the middle. She rolled back a little bit as she was trying to, well, the momentum was going to take you that direction. And Moss, who tried to go around the outside, hammered it with the right rear, just couldn't quite sneak by. So it's been a rough start for Moss. Did get an update on the reason we didn't go green the first time. We did not have drivers in place, so as I said before, we went back around, reset it, opening lap good. We almost got through it. Final corner, a little issue there between Kaylee Countryman and Harry Moss. Scorpioni, Fisher, Weldon, Otola, Gonzalez. Top 6. Let's have another look at this one here, folks. Pretty self-explanatory, but you'll see the one driver get down in there and have that loop. Look a little right near the tail of the field. Watch turning in. Yeah, Kaylee Countryman losing the rear on the turn in. And you can see Moss trying to get around the outside. No, Connor Aspley able to dive to the inside there. No, that was one of the, I think that might have been Emma Scarborough who was able to dive to the inside. Yeah, Moss just with nowhere to go. I'm going to say potentially just maybe too quick on the hands on the turn-in. Coming out of the corner there as you come through that, the right-hander back down the hill into the left-hander. It's a flat-out corner, but if you get too much wheel in it early, it can snap around. So on the turn-in coming out of that corner, Countryman went around, nowhere to go, sliding to the apex. And of course, as we said, Harry Moss, no issue, no ability to get around the outside. He tried, but there's just not enough room. Countryman's into pit lane. They'll go to work on that car. So let's give you the full field rundown. Probably hard to get much in terms of overtakes, but Scorpioni still leads. Fisher second, Weldon third, Otola in fourth. That's how they started. The big mover was Rodrigo Gonzalez. He started in 7th. He ends up into 5th, so +2 for Gonzalez. His brother Patricio Pato in 6th. Joao Vergara in 7th. He lost a spot. Liam Loiacono gained 1. He goes up into 8th. Hudson Potter 9th and Michael Succo rounds out the top 10. Succo got a spot. Diego Guiot in 11th. Carol Stout 12th. JT Hoskins 13th. Brendan Cooley up to 14th spot. 15th, Matan Achetev, 16th, Thomas Nordquist, 17th was Nordquist, 18th, Lincoln Day, 19th, Emma Scarborough, 20th, Maddie Colleran, and indeed the drivers involved, Kaylee Countryman and Harry Moss. We'll see whether or not they're able to get Countryman back out onto the racetrack. Hard to see her from my vantage point here in the commentator's box, so she'll have to scoot out here as quickly as she can, currently in pit lane, whether or not the damage too sufficient for her to return. Again, it was a hard hit. You saw the left rear of Harry Moss get almost torn off the race car. Safety crew did an awesome job getting that thing pulled out of the gravel first and foremost, then we'll get it up on the hook and get him back in. Pace car just coming around the penultimate corner, so we're gonna go back around again. I'd hazard to guess that we'll be going green flag next time by. And I have not yet seen Countryman get out on track, so she may be done. Back across the line to put lap number 4 in the books. Again, a longer 40-minute window for the drivers here in USF Juniors. Give them everything we can with an opportunity to get the full race in. We've had a couple of yellow flags already. Obviously one off the start, one for the contact at the end of the opening lap. The AMR safety crew heading back to their posts around the track, so I would expect that we'll go green when we come back around to do it here. Scorpioni, Fisher, Weldon, Otola, and the Gonzalez brothers, 5th and 6th. Leonardo Scorpioni had to defend on a couple of restarts. It's actually a pretty good opportunity at this particular racetrack. You're able to get a pretty good punch. You're going to get it coming out of the second last corner and get on the throttle down the hill. And at that point, it's tough to get that draft down into turn number one, especially when turn number one isn't a heartbreaking corner, right? You're rolling into turn number one, and I'd have to talk to Scorpioni to see where we are, some of the drivers up front. But again, I don't think you're using much brake at all in there, leveraging the compression of the apex to give the car the grip and to slow it down a little bit before you go climbing back up the hill into the top of the Alabama roller coaster. Well, we got a beautiful day right now, and I'm thrilled for the young drivers here at USF Juniors. Tomorrow morning may be a bit different. They roll out here for race number 3 at 8 o'clock. Potential for wet weather, but right now a couple of blue sky days. This is awesome for them. Great testing yesterday, practice, qualifying, a couple of races under beautiful Alabama blue skies. Back to green flag, and let's see what we've got. The battle actually coming down for third. Ottila was looking to try to find a way by. Oh, there's a couple drivers side by side. That might have been the Gonzalez brothers side by side coming down into turn number 1. Oh, the D-Force crew taking a deep breath, I would bet there. Back up the hill. Out of 4. Here comes the big long run into 5. Anybody ready to lunge? Yeah, further back. I think we're going to move to the inside. Vergara is going to get challenged here by Potter. Not sure if he got the job done. I think maybe he did get by the 2 Inter-MS drivers. Potter and Suko may have got a spot there on potentially Joao Vergara. Otherwise, the first run down through that 7-8 complex. Flat out through 7, climb over top of the inside curbing there, braking downhill, get the thing to rotate, back on throttle, and up flat out through turns number 9 and 10 here. Easy flat for the drivers here in USF Juniors. Not so much the next corner, 11 and 12. You've really got to set it. You got to late apex both those corners to make sure you get out of that corner quickly enough over the top of the hill. 13. 14 down to 15. See if we can get a lap in here. Opening lap in, there we go, finally, get one clean. The field settling in nicely here, not surprising. Zanella Racing drivers running 1-2. Scorpioni trying to see if he can't get max points again. Pull all 33 available points in the first race. That's 30 points for the race win, 1 point for pole, 1 for fast lap, and 1 for the most laps led. All 33 points pushing him up in the standings from 5th to 3rd, but only 2 points back. With the pace he has here this weekend, he's thinking about trying to leave Barber Motorsports Park with his eyes on Mid-Ohio with a point lead. His teammate Ty Fisher, the impressive young rookie, thinking the same thoughts, though. He'd like to be able to get out of here clean as well. Joao Vergara now down to 10th position. Got roughed up a little bit, lost spots to Loiacono, Suko, and Potter. Yeah, we got some good battles further back here. Look at this scrap here. Here comes a move to the inside. That's Guillo. Diego Guillo. I think he's got himself up here in a fight as well against one of the Inter-MS cars. Oh, look at that scrap further back coming across the line. Guillo on the outside, battling with one of the Jay Howard cars. JT Hoskins and Guillo. That's going for 12th. That's the fight for P12, and Hoskins gets by. Great job for Hoskins. Brendan Cooley up in that fight as well. Brendan, who got caught up in an incident involving a number of drivers in the end of the first race. Check this out here, folks, down the inside. That is Ottila. Vito Ottila, the Finnish driver, getting by Weldon. He'll go to 3rd. Ottila finished 2nd in race number one alongside his D-Force teammate Rodrigo Gonzalez, and now he's been able to get by Weldon to move his way into 3rd. Velo again. It's been a long time, as I said in the first show, since we've had a driver here running in the USF Pro Championships from Finland. Go back to Petri Savanto, who was a USF Pro 2000 champion. I have to go back and figure out what year that was. Number of years ago. He's doing a tremendous job for D-Force here. He was really impressive coming out of the gate. Right behind him, the Gonzalez brothers are going to go side by side again. Wow. Remember, if you are at home and watching and you saw the pre-show, I asked if there's sibling rivalry. Do you work together or do you guys battle each other? It seems like they're going to the battling side as opposed to going to the working together side right now, as they are getting at it. They were side by side. I love it. Good stuff. Weldon was able to get back out in front of Altala, and that's why you've got the 3 D-Force drivers lined up, but lose a spot there, as I believe Loiakinos got by Pato Gonzalez. Quickly pulling up the chat here on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. Shout out to all those you guys still watching on the chat here. Hope you're enjoying it. There's that fight there. Look at this battle further back. That is 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th all together. This is great stuff in USF Juniors. Angelo's got to press the reset button. He was able to get by Weldon. You can see the gap they have now. Oh man, that is Vergara going after Suko. That is good stuff. He's got, I believe, Suko in front of him and Potter behind him now. Back down the front straightaway. Watching some of the battles here, everybody lining up. Yeah, Scorpioni, Fisher, Weldon, Altala, Gonzalez, Loiakido, Gonzalez, Suko, Stout, Potter. Again, check a look at the chat here. Blizzard Extreme, hi from England. A couple guys there from England. Sure you'll be watching when we get to Indianapolis as well. Liam McNeely, what a job he's doing right now for Jay Howard in USF 2000. Great start to the season for Liam after finishing 2nd last year here in USF Juniors. The 2 Zanella cars are well out front, you see that, and Weldon has finally firmly grabbed a hold of that 3rd spot. 4th, 5th, and 6th, the battle behind. Who else we got? We've got Poland checking in here as well. Love it on the chat, watching on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel. If you're here to watch the IndyCar weekend, IndyCar Indy Next, and you want to follow the younger drivers, the future stars of IndyCar, you can also download our app. It's the USF Pro Championship app. Live streaming is all on there. All our coverage is on there. We have our series called Driven. It's on there as well, Chasing the Apex. Live timing's on there. My USF Pro Insider podcast available on the app. A great way to follow the action wherever we are. You don't need to be trackside. You don't even need to be on your at home with YouTube popped up. You can just do everything from the app. We'll provide all the coverage. Driver profiles are all on there as well. Great opportunity to learn more about the drivers involved in this year's USF Pro Championship. Oh, big wide run there. Woo! That might have been Hudson Potter getting a little wide coming through the corner. You see how wide he was coming up the hill there too, through 3 and 4. A little grass cutting on the outside of that corner. That'll wake you up a little bit. Driver's doing a great job here. 10 laps down past the halfway point. Again, this next lap by, it'll be the 11th lap led for Scorpioni, which is another bonus point for him. If he walks away with 32 points, that's going to be big for him. He will take that point lead away from both Vergara and Fisher. Second place is 25, so essentially, if he gets all 33 points, he's going to gain 8 points on Ty Fisher. He's only back by 2, so he can walk out of race number 3 with a 6-point lead. And Zanella Racing would be 1-2. Ty Fisher just went purple, fast lap of the race, so the driver in second, you're not done yet. The young Canadian driver up on the wheel, stealing that bonus point away, and he is closing on Scorpione. Ty Fisher's been a lot of fun to watch over the last couple of years. He has been one of the drivers in national level karting here in the U.S., where he was always running in that top 10, top 5. He's getting better and better as the more experience he got. Wasn't with one of the big major teams, ran with a smaller team on a different chassis brand, a TB kart, and just started to come into his own. Last year at the biggest race of the year, the Superkarts USA Super Nationals in Las Vegas, he was one of the drivers in the lead group in the junior category. There's 2 junior classes that run that event. He was there in the middle of a fight to potentially win both of those races. Didn't come up with a race win, was on the podium in one of those events, but has since moved up to senior. And super impressive in what he's done so far as a senior. This program, USF Juniors, is the primary focus for Ty right now, but still, he's doing some racing. He's only 14 years of age. Let's throw that out there as well. Only 14, and is running with the senior drivers 15 and up, and is battling for podiums at that top level of competition. This is a phenomenal young driver and could be one of the next Canadian talents that we see making its way to the NTT IndyCar Series. He's that good, and just showing what it is here early on in his career in the USF Pro Championships. He is closing up. He goes faster again. The gap now less than 0.3 of a second. He's about 4 car lengths back. Big run down into turn number 5. They're picking up the rest of the field here, coming through turn 1, down into 5. You'll see how close it is now. Fisher has closed up that much. That's not even a car length, but he's going to pick up a little bit of aero wash coming through the corner, especially on the exit when he goes back to power. So a little bit of exit understeer. And remember, that's his teammate as well. Ty Fisher, very impressive out of the gate. Again, getting that victory at NOLA Motorsports Park. And any young driver in this program, I don't care what level you're at, when you can win in the opening round of the series as a rookie, it's going to give you so much confidence. Driver backwards. Someone has looped it around over in turn number 8. He's going to get it rolling. Remember, we had so much rain that you're going to potentially get wheel spin there in the grass. But he is able to continue. So back at it once again. So we avoid the full course yellow for the driver off at 8. I'll do what I can to pick up who that is when they come back around. One of the D-Force drivers for sure. Cross the line once again. Bit of a gap here. Being told that was the number 15 that went around by himself. Patricio Gonzalez. Pato is in the top 10. Tough one for Pato Gonzalez as he goes around from 8th position. That's going to move Suko up to 8th, Stout to 9th, Hoskins into 10th. Fisher losing a bit of gap there. The rest of the drivers coming through the downhill of the Alabama roller coaster here. Very tough part of the racetrack. Trying to carry so much speed through there. Seven laps remaining with 13 down. Scorpione leads, Fisher second, Weldon third. The gap at a half a second between first and second. You got to go almost full 4 seconds back to Weldon, so the Zanella cars have pulled out nicely. Weldon third, Autola in 4th spot, Gonzalez 5th, Rodrigo. Joao Vergara, who was 10th a couple laps ago, gets himself back up to 6th. He has worked his way forward. Liam Loiacono running 7th, Michael Suko 8th, Carol Stout 9th, and JT Hoskins now 10th. Harry Moss and Kaylee Countryman both out of the race after that contact in turn number 15. Good scrap here a little bit further back as well. Look at that one. That's right at the very tail of the field. I think that's going to be Lincoln Day, Emma Scarborough, Thomas Nordquist, and Matan Achitov. And I love the fact that we're having battles all the way through. I don't care where you are on the racetrack. These young drivers need wheel-to-wheel competition. That's why they're here. Green flag racing is what we're looking for. Youngest driver in the field right now. We talked about the fact that Ty Fisher is just 14. Really, the youngest driver is Oliver Weldon at 14 years of age as well. He didn't turn 14 until after our spring training event, which was the week before St. Petersburg, even though Juniors wasn't running at St. Petersburg, he wasn't able to compete in that official event because he wasn't 14 yet. You have to be 14 years of age to run in USF Juniors, 15 for USF 2000, 16 years of age for USF Pro 2000. So instead of being part of the spring training event at NOLA Motorsports Park the week before St. Petersburg, he had to wait until he turned 14. So indeed, youngest driver on the grid here this weekend for USF Juniors. Leonardo Scorpioni is trying to make this weekend all about him. One win already, trying to get another victory here. He steals back the fast lap of the race with a 126.112. The driver well out front. He and Fisher. They've got a 4-second gap across the line. Let's see if Fisher comes back at it again. These cars are getting lighter. These Continental tires are going to keep giving big grip. Still about 0.4 of a second. Scorpioni to Fisher. And for Ty, do you push hard? Like, do you push a little over? You know where the edge is. Do you push a little over? Now, one thing about it is, remember, these drivers have 3 races. They're back on track tomorrow morning. Only 2 sets of new tires and 1 used set that they're allowed to carry over from the test session earlier on Thursday. So did you save a fresh set of tires for tomorrow, or is it raining? You figure you're going to be on wets. That's probably more the case here this weekend. They have a lot of strategy on weekends when we know we're going to be dry all weekend long. That's obviously a different story. But when the pending rain comes, I guarantee everybody used up the tires. They're fresh tires here, likely in both races here today on Friday. Tomorrow, very likely, we're going treaded Continental tires. 15 laps down, 5 to go. Scorpioni, Fisher, Weldon, Autola, Vagar, your top 5. Gonzalez runs 6. Rodrigo getting that podium in race number 1, now currently 6th place. And Rodrigo Gonzalez, 6th place in points now. He's only a couple points behind Liam Loiacono and a couple ahead of Autola. So this is going to get even tighter as he's got a little bit on Loiacono, but he's lost a couple spots to Autola. So it's going to be very close. Liam Loiacono, the Aussie, right in the middle of the fight as well. Leaders coming across the line to put lap number 16 in. We'll have 4 laps remaining here. 4 laps to go. Good fights a little bit further back. Diego Guillo running 11th. Brendan Cooley in 12th. Hudson Potter 13th. Those drivers together on the racetrack. Fisher again closes up within a couple of car lengths, but loses it coming out of turn 5. Number of drivers turning their fastest laps here in lap 16, Weldon being one of them, Loiacono and Succo the others, and Hudson Potter back in 13th turns his fastest lap here on lap 16. Cars getting lighter and lighter. I'm loving this battle further back, 15th, 16th, 17th, and 18th with Lincoln Day battling it out here with Thomas Nordquist and Emma Scarborough. I think Emma made the move to the inside. Lincoln's gonna be alongside as they come down into turn number 7, so that's a good scrap there as well. I've lost video in the booth, so calling this one blind here from where I am right now. Scorpioni, again, as I had said, victorious at NOLA Motorsports Park. Won the second race. DNF'd race number 3 after something technically happened to the car, leaving him stranded on track. He has come back with another race win. So big comeback from that DNF for Scorpioni. Drivers back across start-finish line, getting the feed picked back up here in the commentary box. Look at these battles. We have a couple of drivers just scrapping it out. Yeah, good fights on the racetrack still. These one-on-one battles. That's what this is all about. Looks like we've got Autola actually battling with Joao Vergara. Vergara's worked his way back to P5. Fantastic recovery for Joao. He was all the way back in 10th and has got himself back up into 5th. What a great run so far for him. And again, right behind them, the battle is Liam Loiacono putting the pressure here on Rodrigo Gonzalez. A little further back, it's Guillo, Cooley, and Potter. Guillo holding the inside of 7. Cooley's all over it. Potter looking at it as well as they come down through turn number 7. You'll pick them up just the top of the race camera shot there, out of turn number 8 back to 9 and 10 here. There's a great battle further back there for 11th, 12th, and 13th. Here's Weldon, and look at the gap all the way back from Weldon to the next fight. Vito Atola having to hold off João Vergara. Everybody pairing off for a scrap here at the end of this one. Two laps remaining for a Scorpione. You can see the downhill run. It's even more pronounced if you stand on top of it into the braking zone and you just walk down the hill into turn number 1 and then walk back up the hill to turn number 2. It's a trek around here. Ty Fisher keeps pushing, trying to see if he can't close in. Not quite there. But again, even second for a rookie like that, he's got to be happy with the way things are working here. We had a driver been told to go off at 9, but come back on the racetrack. Scorpione trying to stretch that gap. Fisher, Weldon, currently the podium finishers here. If they wrap it all up, white flag will fly here when they come back around for a Scorpione. He'll work his way through the last couple of corners and out onto the front straightaway. Indeed, the white flag flying. And he's got a solid little advantage right now. Zanella trying to bring home a 1-2 with a Scorpione and young Ty Fisher. Rookies run 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. 7th for Loiacono and 10th for Stout. So split the difference, 5 and 5. 5 sophomores, 5 freshmen. Final lap. Connor Aspley has joined this battle for 11th with Kwiat, Cooley, and Potter. So Connor Aspley in the pole position Motorsports machine, having a great run. Vergara still going to work on the final lap on Atola. We could have a fight here for P4. Loiacono as well is getting challenged here by Michael Succo. That's for 7th. Final lap here for the drivers in USF Juniors Race 2 of the triple header here at Barber Motorsports Park. Children's of Alabama Indy Grand Prix. Big gap now for a Scorpione. Last corner is really tough here, though, through that 11-12 complex. You have to place the car correctly. Here comes Vergara going to the outside of Atola as well. They're going to go side by side through 11, over to 12, and he's through. Book it. Vergara taking over P4. What a beautiful pass. Gutsy maneuver. Here comes the leader onto the straightaway. He'll buzz the tower right down to the wall for Leonardo Scorpione as he takes the win. Ty Fisher coming home in 2nd. We're not done here with the battle of the line. João Vergara moving ahead of Vito Atola on the final lap. Vergara goes up to 4th. He had fallen down to 10th. What a drive for Vergara. Up to 4th. Atola in 5th. Gonzalez 6th. Loiacono 7th. Succo 8th. Hoskins 9th. Stout 10th. And Hudson Potter able to slide by Brendan Cooley on the final lap in that big battle for 11th on back. Guio takes 11th. Potter goes up to 12th. Cooley in 13th. Aspley 14th. Emma Scarborough in the 15th spot. Thomas Nordquist, Matan Achatev, Lincoln Day, and Matty Colleran. The 19 drivers that were able to get to the checker flag. Pato Gonzalez out on lap number 16, and Countryman and Moss out on the opening circuit. So indeed, Leonardo Scorpione looking very good. Coming away, I believe, with a fast lap of the race as well, 126.112, just about a 10th quicker than Ty Fisher, and honestly, 5,000th faster than Oliver Weldon. So he does get the bonus point there, 33 points, a full brace for Scorpione. He's going to take, I believe, unofficially a 6-point lead out of race number 2 here this weekend. Ty Fisher's going to hold on to 2nd. Weldon and Vergara will be right in the middle there, the scrap, to see which one of those drivers ends up in 3rd. Too early to start talking about points when you think about Portland still being a number of months away, the 2nd weekend of August. These drivers have to go through 2 race weekends still at Mid-Ohio. They've got an event at Road America with Grid Life. Looking forward to that weekend. And, of course, wrapping it all up at Portland International Raceway. All three of the series, the USF Pro Championships, joining IndyCar for that event at PIR. For Zanella Racing, 1-2, looking good. Let's have a look at the official results here into the second half there. Diego Guillo, Hudson Potter, Brendan Cooley, and Connor Aspley. That was that battle we talked about just outside the top 10. Emma Scarborough in 15th, Thomas Norquist 16th, Achetiv 17th, Day 18th, Colleran and Gonzalez, as we said, rounding out the top 20, Countryman and Moss. So indeed, we'll bring that driver in here. Again, he's done it once already. How about back-to-back jacks here at Barber Motorsports Park? Third win on the season for Leonardo Scorpioni. We've got some drivers who are quick. I'm telling you, folks, when you're this age, just 15 years old, you start winning races like this, the amount of confidence you have is absolutely crazy. They need this. This is what they draw off of course. These victories, this confidence, the team rallies around the drivers. And also think about it, great data for the rest of the drivers at the team. That's a 4-car effort. Scorpioni's going to come back out. He's already had one big success on the day. There's the smile for Leonardo Scorpioni. Big victory for him. And indeed, right behind him, Ty Fisher. Zanella Racing 1-2. Guillo finished 11th. And Maddie Colleran, again, so new to the sport, keeps finding speed every session. She gets through to the end again. And a shout out to Maddie Colleran. She actually, in another series just about a week and a half ago, had a barrel roll in her car, the F4 car she was driving, injured wrist, but out there soldiering through it. And again, gets to the end, does 20 laps. She's done 40 laps today in racing Maddie with that sore wrist. So shout out to her to getting through to the end and continuing to find big pace. So the drivers will get out of the race cars here, folks. We'll head to Victory Lane. I'll let Steve take things over. We'll give a throwdown when we're all said and done. But again, one more thing still to go, folks. It's the podium for a Scorpioni, Fisher, and Weldon. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate it. Again, back here for the second time here today with the drivers in USF Juniors, the very first run of the USF Pro Championships. Three very talented drivers going to join me up here on the podium to get things underway. Let's start with the pilot coming home in the third spot today. He's in the top 5 in points. A solid drive here for VRD Racing. P3 goes to Oliver Weldon. Good job for Oliver there. They'll keep digging for tomorrow. It's going to be a challenging race if that water and rain does come. Zanella Racing coming home with a 1-2, folks. Big one here for these drivers in the Zanella team because, again, they're going to be very likely P1 and P2 in points going into tomorrow. Finishing in the second spot today from Canada for Zanella Racing, Ty Fisher. Ty, a winner, and Nola back on the podium here for race number 2. We'll see what he does tomorrow. But again, we talked about the fact that Nola had 3 different winners. The morning race was our first 2-time winner. He's now a 3-time winner on the season. Your new point leader, Leonardo Scorpioni. You had a great run at NOLA, 1 DNF, but when you came here, you knew how fast you were going to be. At a triple header, this is one of those races where you can come away with a lot of points.
Yeah, I mean, when I saw it was a triple header at Barber, I mean, I was so happy. During all the testing, we were so quick here, and I was so happy of how quick we were. And, I mean, it's been amazing.
Any surprise with the way the track changed throughout the day? Obviously, some IndyCar rubber is going to be down tomorrow, but we could have the rain tomorrow. Any surprise on the track?
I mean, yeah, at the end it was getting a little bit greasy with how hot it is, as it's very hot. And, I mean, it was about underdriving, staying calm, and keeping the tires full and coming home with the win.
Who do you want to thank today?
I want to thank my dad, my mom, God, all the Zanella crew, Ernie, Naka, Mimo, Franzoni, everyone.
Well done. Grab that trophy. A collection happening here for USF Juniors for this young driver, Leonardo Scorpioni. Another victory for him. His 3rd on the season. He'll take likely a 6-point lead over Ty Fisher into race number 3 tomorrow morning. What a great start to the season. We got a lot of talented drivers here in USF Juniors, folks. No doubt about it. Great stuff. Yeah, get those trophies up in the air. Round of applause for those who are here in Victory Lane. What a great job for these drivers, all destined to work their way into the NTT IndyCar Series. This is the talent that we have in this series right now. It is unbelievable. So So, folks, as well, we're just about an hour away from our USF Juniors autograph session. We'll have it down here at, I believe, 2:15. So just over an hour away. All these USF Juniors drivers are going to be down here right alongside. So feel free to come down to Victory Lane, right behind pit lane. We'd love to have all you folks that are around the racetrack. Want to meet these young drivers. The future stars of IndyCar are here. They'll have their autograph cards for you here. So come and join us here at 2:15 in the paddock, right down here by Victory Lane. Get a chance to meet all 22 drivers. All right, guys, grip it and rip it. Grab that champagne, get it flying. This is where they have to practice as well. All about driver development. Not only driving, but how good you can spray the champagne. Of course, as we know, tomorrow morning when they don't have to wear these suits again on the weekend, they'll really be able to go after each other. That wraps things up for this edition, folks. This race here, number 2 of 3 on the weekend here at Barber Motorsports Park. Fantastic run for Leonardo Scorpione with the victory. Ty Fisher, his teammate, chased him all the way to the checkered flag. And another podium for Oliver Weldon as well, right in the middle of the championship fight. We're back here again tomorrow morning, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, 8 a.m. scheduled start time. Join us here on the YouTube channel and join us trackside if you're coming out for a race day as well. On behalf of Anderson Promotions and everyone from Continental Tire, my name's Rob Howden. Bye for now.